Welcome to RC Racing TV. In this episode, we're going 1/8 Nitro Buggy mad with the event that's been dubbed the Indoor World Championship, where hundreds of people travel from across the globe to compete. Yes, it's the Neo 16, where after 4 days of qualifying and racing, the top contenders will battle to place their backsides upon the sparkly winner's throne. Also, don't just build your own Hummer, but drive it too. All that and more to come from D'Agostini Model Space. But now, over to John Hindhaugh.
For me, generally at the meeting, it's going very average.
I wish it was better, to be honest, but I got 11th in the first round.
So far, so good.
Been going great so far since qualifying started. Cars have been awesome, so I'm really happy.
I'm just struggling a little bit for consistency on the track.
I haven't looked at overall. The run was decent, just one little error on the last lap, but quite happy.
I just got to stay calm out there and try not to push. I seem to go faster when I don't push, so.
Tyres is always the main talking point at Neo Buggy.
Tyres are strange. I mean, in the cold and the low grip, you'd think we need our softest tyre, but actually we're reaching for the one stiffer.
I'm using a Calais Proline, and they are working quite well, so far.
I don't really know, that's why I'm wandering around, having a look, being nosy, trying to find out some maybe secret stuff.
Tires, I started out yesterday with the super soft compound, but we saw quite quickly that it wasn't the right compound for the track, so we went with the clay compound. And after that, I was just stuck with a Typo clay tire, which has been working really good so far.
Last year, tires, I think we were off. No one brought clay, and that ended up being what was working. This year, obviously, we brought lots of clay tires, and it's working really well.
I ran clays the whole time. I ran chain links, Typo, so I ended up going back to Typos today since the track just looked a little bit cleaner, and they just are a faster tire to drive.
Changing a lot of settings on the car to kind of cope with the track?
We haven't, but I think that's gone against us. It was really good yesterday, and come to today, maybe the track's changed a little bit, and now we're struggling a bit more. We need to improve it a little bit better.
Yesterday night I changed the diffs, oils, shocks, and they were perfect.
We made some changes to the shock package for today, and it was way better and easier to drive the car.
So it's the Neo 16 Nitro Buggy Final in association with the Saw TR5, Agama, S-Works and Absolute Hobbies. And it's Jared Tabor from the US on his Kyosho on pole position. From Cavalieri, Ronefalk, Neil Craggan 4, David Ongaro in 5, Lutz, Boots, Martin, King and Barufalo make up the top 10. Embling and McBride qualifying through, and the 3 through from the repechage, Valanka, Bayer and Savoya. 15 buggies being revved to the max as we get ready for this highly anticipated final, and we're off and running at Telford, and Jared Tabor gets away nicely from pole position. The two Americans doing well. Oh, but there was a problem there for Ronefalk. He went over in the early running and through. That's Neil Cragg. No, it's Ryan Lutz who's come through to third position. So Americans first, second and third in a truly international field here at Telford that boasts 8 different nationalities. What a fantastic field we have here, and it's a real tribute to the organisers and of course to the stature of this event that it can attract such drivers. Real talent here this weekend, and a course that stood up very well, just starting to get a bit polished there as you can see, but it has been racing well. The drivers, as ever, pretty complimentary. The two Americans then battling it out. Cavalieri having a look down the inside with the bright yellow wheels. The blue buggy at the head of the field is Tabor. Then the purple car coming through is Ryan Lutz on the Techno. And he's just holding on there in third position from Neil Cragg from the UK in fourth position. These four just beginning to make a little bit of a break. We just watch the front of Neil Cragg's machine. It's the lighter colour in the background, otherwise very difficult to tell those two apart. Also catching up with them, I think that's David Ongaro from Italy on the Mugen, who's just trying to get onto the back of the leaders and try and make it a leading 45-minute race here. And oh, there's a change for second. Lutz goes through and displaces his countryman Ryan Cavalieri, the Associated, then dropping down to 3rd position. I was just about to explain, pit stops are plenty here in 45 minutes, and we will have to wait to see who is doing what with the strategy, because there is an opportunity here, if you drive a little bit more conservatively, to perhaps save a pit stop and a bit of time in the pits. The question is, and talking to a few people down in the paddock earlier, can the speed that you have to do that and save that pit stop, is the speed quick enough to actually make the advantage? I'm not sure that Jared Tebow at the moment is thinking anything other than absolutely flat out at the front of the field. Always difficult to know what these strategies are, but at the head of the field you have, I suppose, less choice, because you have to just go for it. You're a little bit further down the field, might be worth taking a little more of a tricky or a dangerous strategy to try and make up positions. But it's Tebow that leads at the moment from Lutz on the Techno in second. So Kyosho from Techno. And there is Lutz, Ryan Lutz, just established himself in 3rd position. That's Cody King in 4th. Cavalieri in 3rd, of course. So the Americans doing very, very well here. And Cody King there going up in the 3rd. So it is the USA drivers absolutely dominating here in the opening stages of this 3/4 of an hour final, in association with the Saw TR5, Agama, S-Works and Absolute Hobbies. Amazing to see just how this event has developed over the years, and you can see there is a big crowd around the arena. Now yes, they are, some of them connected or competing this weekend, but there has been over the years, we've seen far more people coming just to spectate. Oh, Lutz is out, Lutz is out. Oh my goodness, that's drama. Now, what has happened there? And also, that is a problem for Cody King, who continues. So that is Ryan Cavalieri back into 2nd on the Associated. Well, the spectators who have come here in their droves, getting plenty of drama in these early stages, and hearing from the pit lane now that was an engine problem for Ryan Lutz, and well, effectively he's out of it now. That is such a shame for the man who qualified in 6th position. Remember, the top 12 qualified through from 2 semi-finals, had the heats to determine those semis, and then the bottom 3 came through from the last chance race, the repechage if you will. Very impressive run at the head of the field from Jared Tebow. King in 3rd, and Kyle McBride, the Australian on the Associated, up from 12th now to 4th position. This is a very measured drive by that multi-coloured buggy, white wheels. So 3rd and 4th there. Oh, and just of course, as I mentioned him, McBride goes onto his roof, and all that hard work getting him up from 12th position, and the last qualifier as of right has gone. Tebow leads it. Like the look of the run from Tebow. Big number 1, showing he was the fastest qualifier. 5 times a winner of this event. And this is the 11th running of the Neo here at Telford. And he's starting to get a little bit of traffic now. So here's the first danger point then for the leader. He certainly had no pressure from behind. The judge, race director, will be making sure that the drivers that Jared is coming up on now know all about it. Oh, he's hit someone who's had his own accident. Now is the damage there to the Kyosho. He gets pointed in the right direction. He's got plenty of lead. Now he needs to get his heart rate down, because that would have been a big shock to the American. Now well, that's very good. Now let's have another look at this. He comes through the corner. Martin Bayer, the Czech Republic driver, has gone round. That can often be complete disaster. Nobody's fault there, of course, but just wonder if there might have been some damage to his steering arm. Now that's Cavalieri, and he's going in the pits. So that's the first of our leaders in the pits. From 2nd place, the number 2. I reckon he was just under a second behind the leader when that happened, and Thibault will be annoyed with himself there for giving up that important real estate just before the pit stops started. So let's watch Thibault now. Looks like he's got that running, and I don't think there's been any after effects on the steering. Looks okay. Goes round for another lap. Well, I was opining earlier that maybe he was going flat out. I wonder if he's got the lead and started now just to think about controlling that gap, because he's not stopped. Oh, this is very interesting tactics indeed. Look at the way he flies the whoops and the bumps. Oh, and again, just a little bit of loss of concentration from our leader, who now comes to the pits. Now let's see the pit stop. Pit crew got to do their job. Oh, a little bit slow getting the fuel in, but it's a nice rejoin. Where's Cavalieri? I can't see him. And he is, well, he's more than the second back that he was. So that is a brilliant 2 or 3 extra laps from the leader, Thibault. He didn't have too much traffic. Now this is the battle for third position. That's Cody King in the white buggy with the yellow wheels, and the red buggy is Elliott Boots, who's come up from 7th on the Kyosho. He's been very quick, but he's already had his pit stop, which is why he's further up the field as these guys take pit stops now. So Elliott Boots trying the sprint tactic, if you will, of getting the hammer down and fighting his way up from 7th position up through the field, but will that work for him? We'll have to see when we get down to the last pit stop sequence later in the race. At the moment, Jared Thibault has everything going for him. He's got the speed, he's got the gap at the front of the field, and he seems to be getting better mileage out of his equipment. There's Boots, third position. That bright red Kyosho. Boots, the reigning European champion. Young man who burst onto the scene a few years ago while still very much in his early teenage years. Still learning his craft, but clearly very talented. And here's that extra pit stop we were talking about for the 7 Kyosho. That's a lovely pit stop and rejoin though, isn't it? His pit crew are going to be very busy if this is the strategy they've laid out. Just behind King there in the lighter coloured car with the fluorescent pink front. And this is going to be a battle, of course, now that will rage on the pit stop cycle right through the race for effectively the final place on the podium in this Neo 16 Nitro Buggy Final. Brought to you by the Sword TR5, Agama, S-Works and Absolute Hobbies. Boots then, just trying to get back into the rhythm. And he's done that very well indeed.
Well, don't go anywhere because the Neo Final is far from over, so you better stay tuned.
Build and drive the ultimate off-road vehicle, the Hummer H1 remote control car. Go to modelspace.com now to discover how you can build and drive your very own all-terrain vehicle. Get your high-quality parts and step-by-step instructions to build the nitro-powered, radio control-ready Hummer H1. This iconic car is not available in stores, so go to modelspace.com now and get your exclusive offer today.
Well, welcome back to RC Racing TV, where it's time for the climax of the Neo 16 event here in Telford. Over to John.
There is third place ahead of him. That's Cody King, across from the US. He's one of 4 Americans who made the final. Kyosho then. And just watching the timing, he started to get a little bit of a wiggle on here. Ryan Cavalieri, his pace is just easing a little bit. In fairness, is in traffic. We might have a battle for second and third in a lap or two's time. Of course, Cody's got to hit the same traffic that Ryan has as well. always impressed by how the guys control their cars in the air, and you might think, what is he talking about? But using the torque of the motor to affect the attitude of the buggy as it flies is part of the skill here. Often you see a little bit of steering input going in the air as well. All part of the skill, huge skill levels that these drivers are exhibiting here. Oh, and that is a change for second. Yes, just had to check myself there, but yes, that was Cavalieri going wide on that middle hairpin. And so the two Americans swap places now, so Thibaut still leads. Oh, dear me. Try and keep your concentration in that lot. Cody King up from 9th to 2nd now. Ryan Cavalieri in 3rd. So Kyosho leads Kyosho and Associated 1st, 2nd and 3rd at the moment, and all USA drivers. Watch this traffic again. These are dangerous times at any point. Fairly robust, of course, these buggies, but contact with another competitor can be dangerous. And these longer races, as in any form of endurance motorsport, getting through the traffic without compromising your own race, and these two are certainly racing now, aren't they? Thibaut has cleared off, and these two are providing the excitement at the moment. They come round to complete another lap. Pit stops again, not too far away from these two, round the banked hairpin. And the levels of concentration to race this closely over a number of laps. Plenty of grip there, as you can see. Cavalieri popping the wheelie there. So this course really holding up very well, and there's a crash there. Now, Cavalieri didn't go through into second there because he caused his competitor a little bit of grief. Had he gone through, he would have probably been called for that, but he was taking no risks, so good driving. And the battle then resumes where we left off, with more traffic ahead for the two Americans in 2nd and 3rd. Through the air sideways there, fantastic shot there as they come over that very high whoops. The marshal just about keeping his ankles in one piece as they go through, and the second place has changed once, it's changed back again. Marvellous stuff here at Telford. And it goes again. Well, these two are putting on a show, aren't they? Marvellous stuff. Cavalieri back into second place, which is where he was gridded, but he's not having it all his own way. Side-by-side action, banging wheels here. The spectators are loving this. It's a very, very well-educated and knowledgeable crowd here. Many of them competitors themselves. But this is what they came to see. We're not seeing the blue Kyosho of Jared Thibaut because he's well ahead of this battle for second. Cavalieri and Cody King scrapping it out. Very, very impressed with this. There's no thought of strategy and tactics here, is there? It's just either get away or get by. Now, for the moment, it looks like the hostilities have calmed down just a little bit. Because as soon as I say that, it's bound to close back up again immediately. Cavalieri with a bit of traffic goes through. It's fine. It is exactly as in 1-to-1 scale. As soon as you have traffic, it does take the concentration. Oh! And it's a pit. Into the pits. I think Cody King was held up there as he came in. Now, where's Cody King? King is not circulating here. He didn't come round the final corner as I expected there, and he has had an accident and he's flamed out. He's being restarted as I speak, but that's Boots now in the red car. Remember, Elliot Boots started in 7th position on the Kyosho, who's running a very different tactics here. He is sprinting and filling up more often on the pit stop cycle, but that at the moment is paying off for the young Brit. in the final run to the flag. The question for me now, and I have to say I haven't been noting Boots' pit stops, is whether he can go to the end from here. If he can, he's got a nailed on podium. He'll be second or third surely, but if he's got to have a splash and go, he's probably going to hold on to third now. As I check the timing screen, the gap down to fourth position is quite large, but he's not thinking of that here, is he? He's thinking of second place. I feel a bit sorry for Jared Tibor. We haven't seen that much of him. He has really been putting on a clinic at the front of the field, but this is where the action is. Oh, there's the answer. Boots has got to pit. Time running out, and that wasn't it wasn't even a full load of fuel, was it? Oh my goodness me. He has come back out in third position. There is our leader. Check the time here. This should be, I think, the start of the last lap. Does he come across the line? Yes, he does. So this is the last lap then. It's been a lonely run for Jared Tibor, and even that little mistake there will not make any difference. So other than right at the start when he had a little fumble, he has been imperious. And this event that in recent times he has made his own, he'll be taking this back to the States, and it's another win for Kyosho, for Jared Tibor, and for the USA as he comes through to take victory in the Neo 16 Nitro Buggy Finals. Nick Damon is down with our winner.
I'm stoked. I've been struggling a little bit and just have lost some confidence in myself, and I feel like I've been driving decent lately, but just crashing a bunch. Qualifying, I didn't do 5 minutes without crashing one time all week, and just busted out 45. So I'm ecstatic, man. 6 Neo wins, can't be happier.
Underlining the total domination of Jared Tibor, he's the only man on the lead lap at the end, from Cavallari in second, Boots in third after that final splash and dash, but the tactics work for him. Cody King unlucky after that flame out following the contact with another vehicle. And a word for Martin Valanka in 7th position, came through from the repechage to that final finishing position.
Well, congratulations to Jared Tibor. That's all we got time for, but don't forget to head over to theagostiniModelSpace.com to build yourself an incredible RC model fleet and watch more great contact over at www.rcracing.tv whilst you're making it. Bye for now.